The Unexpected Encounter. Esmeralda walked slowly through the streets of her hometown, carefully observing every corner. It had been years since she had strolled through there so calmly. She had returned to spend a few days with her mother, taking advantage of a short break from her job in the city. The changes in the shops, plazas, and parks filled her with nostalgia, but some places remained untouched, as if time had left them alone. There was something comforting about returning to this place where she had grown up, although at the same time, she felt a sense of unease that was hard to describe. At 38, her life was full of responsibilities, projects, and commitments. Going back to the past, even if only physically, reminded her of everything she had left behind. That afternoon, the cool autumn air invited her to prolong her walk, so she decided to take a side street that would lead her to the park where she used to hang out with her friends during her teenage years. As she walked, her thoughts filled with memories. The laughter, the endless conversations, and the future plans that had seemed so distant back then. Suddenly, as she turned a corner, she saw him. It was as if time had stopped for a moment. There, just a few meters away, stood Hugo, her first love. The impact was immediate. Her heart raced, and a flood of emotions overwhelmed her. He hadn't changed much since the last time she saw him, but the passage of time was evident in the small wrinkles beginning to mark his face and the gray that had started to show in his dark hair. Esmeralda froze for a second, unsure whether to approach him or keep walking. The last time they had seen each other was over 15 years ago, when their lives had taken different paths. He had decided to stay in town to continue with the family business, while she had left in search of her dreams in the big city, always certain that there was no turning back. Finally, Hugo saw her. Their eyes met, and they both smiled, a mixture of surprise and recognition. There was something strange about seeing someone you had once known so deeply, but from whom you had been separated for so long. Esmeralda, Hugo said, walking slowly towards her. I can't believe it's you. Hello, Hugo, she replied with a nervous smile, feeling how memories swirled in her mind. They shared a tentative hug, a gesture that felt both familiar and distant. Despite the years and the differences, there was something in their connection that still lingered. They began to walk together, talking about their lives and how things had changed. He still lived in the town, married with 2 young children, while she had devoted herself completely to her career without starting a family. With each word, Esmeralda was immersed in a mix of nostalgia and reflection. She remembered the days when they had been inseparable, dreaming of a future together that, in the end, never materialized. There had been moments in her life when she had thought about him, wondering what could have been if things had been different. But she was also satisfied with the choices she had made, with the life she had built on her own. Have you ever regretted it? Hugo asked suddenly, stopping by a fountain in the park. There was something in his voice, a vulnerability Esmeralda hadn't expected. Regretted what? She responded, knowing exactly what he meant. Us, taking different paths. Esmeralda looked at him for a moment, searching for the right answer. It had been so long since then, and although she had once asked herself the same question, she knew there was no room for regret in her life now. No, Hugo, she said finally. I think we both made the decisions we needed to make. It may not have been easy, but look at us now. We are who we chose to be. He nodded, though his expression showed a shadow of sadness. It was clear that he still wondered, what if? But Esmeralda no longer did. She had accepted her past, her choices, and what they had brought her. They continued walking through the park, talking about trivial things, and laughing at shared memories. The feeling of having gone through that stage of life with someone so important, but having drifted apart, was strangely comforting. When the time came to say goodbye, both knew that this reunion wouldn't change anything. It was simply a reflection of what once was and would never be again. "Take care, Esmeralda," Hugo said before leaving, with a soft smile. "You too, Hugo," she replied. As she watched him walk away, Esmeralda felt an unexpected sense of peace. That encounter, which she had once feared or subconsciously wished for, didn't leave her with pain or longing. It was simply another piece of the puzzle of her life. She turned on her heels and continued her walk, enjoying the autumn breeze brushing her face, feeling lighter than ever. She had learned that some things simply stay in the past, and that was okay.